everybody do. You ever vacuum just because something weird fell off of you and you don't want anyone else to find it?
What up, everybody, and welcome to the FB and Goop Show. I am FB,
What's up, guys? I'm the Goob.
and we are sponsored by the Good Time Tavern of Livermore, California. Best little dive bar in California.
Goddamn right.
How's the Goop?
The Goob is pretty groovy today. Today on the FB and Goob Show, we'll be talking NASCAR. We'll be talking NFL free agency. Our girl, Caitlin Clark, loses another college record. But today we begin once again with our NBA 3-on-3, the FBG 3x3. Let's do
Folks,
it.
are we ready?
I am.
Can we start with the Caitlin Clark thing, please?
Sure, yeah.
Please, it's basketball. Start with that. I'd like to start with that. I don't know if I'm so ready to start with the thing now that you've mentioned Caitlin Clark's name. I think I want to start with Caitlin Clark.
Okay, so do you know, or am I informing you and the general public here?
You're informing everybody that is watching right now.
All right, let me go to the Caitlin Clark section. All right, so Caitlin Clark once was the only person in women's college basketball to score 30 points against one team 4 times in a row. Sorry, Nebraska Cornhusker fans to bring that up, but she roasted y'all, turned into popcorn. Recently, JUJU Watkins, who was going to be my performer of the week, but I do have another one, don't worry. She put up 30 points again against UCLA, knocking off the highly ranked UCLA Bruins. So that's now 4 in a row, 30 points plus for JUJU. So, man, this whole JUJU Caitlin Clark thing is heating up. Like I said, get your popcorn ready. It's popcorn season. It's a popcorn-themed event.
Yeah, but now we still have 2 more years of JUJU Watkins in college, right?
I don't know the women's college basketball rules. Maybe she could just go whenever she wants. I have no idea.
Oh, that'd be interesting. We should learn that.
Yeah, we'll learn that. No, I think it's the same.
3 years or 1 year. 1 year. But 1 year for basketball, right? 3 years for college football.
3, right? No.
Football is 3, basketball is 1. She probably just goes after 1.
I would think so.
I would think so too.
Glad you figured that out too.
Appreciate that. I'm glad I figured that out too. Sometimes, takes a while.
Yeah, so that's the Caitlin Clark news. She's losing records. They're dropping by the ones and twos to this JUJU Watkins character.
Well, it seems like she's just tying Caitlin Clark. She's not actually taking the record to herself, is she?
I mean, just this one. She's already got other records.
Oh, tell her to slow down.
Well, she's just going to get as many done this year, apparently. Well, I mean, she already had last year, so.
Right.
This is now her second year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she'll probably be gone. But like you said, college are the best years of your life. And when you go to the WNBA, it's not like, ooh. She's already getting she's already in commercials for Allstate. She's already getting paid.
Oh, yeah. And NIL money for JUJU is probably more than 90%
WNBA salary.
Yeah, 90% of them, yeah.
90%, yes, probably, yes. So wouldn't you just stay in the best years of your life?
If I was her, I would. But for me and you, I want to see JUJU versus Caitlin one-on-one. I mean, they play the same position. It's a beautiful thing. It's Jordan versus Bird, too. I can't get enough of it.
Okay, so in that aspect, yes, I do want her to come out of college this year.
Yeah, breaking record. That's
and the
fun,
aspect that she's young and she should just stay in college and enjoy her life, and she getting paid anyways. Probably more.
Indeed.
You'd have to study, though. You have to study in WNBA.
Yeah.
Tough one.
Trust me, I got the 4.0 in college, and I wasn't an athlete, and it was still easy.
Well, then, yeah, now I see, once again, you're convincing me.
Stay, man. Yeah, just stay.
Just stay in college.
Not that much work. Show up for the finals.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And then join it's not like she's not going to be the first pick in the WNBA draft the next year.
Oh, yeah, she'll be number 1.
It's not like a football thing. You should leave now, man, because there's a guy coming up. He's probably going to be number 1 next year. Oh, all right.
Right. And everyone's trying to break your legs next year, too.
Right. Yeah, right. For her, nobody's coming up. We're not talking about anybody else at all. We've been talking about this. We've had people comment about JuJu Watkins, then like we didn't know who she was a year ago when we were talking about Caitlin Clark. So apparently JuJu Watkins is not going to be passed by anybody else if she stays a year.
Uh, we got the next generation coming up though.
They are coming up, and I can't wait for two generations. I mean, I maybe just the next generation that are going to suck off of this Caitlin Clark and this JuJu Watkins, and they're going to learn to dribble the ball just as they're going to practice just as hard. They're going to push themselves just as hard to be just as good as Caitlin Clark and JuJu Watkins. Yes, you ready?
Yeah, why not?
All right, let's do it. Next topic. That almost became a topic. There you go.
Well, Caitlin Clark versus JuJu Watkins might be a topic for our future. Yeah.
Okay, so we've set it up. So when
I just got to get you a JuJu Watkins t-shirt next year.
Right? So I go back and forth between Clark from the, whatever
logo
from
the logo
and JuJu. Does she shoot like Clark? No, right? Is she more?
She's more of a take it to the rack kind of person. I mean, she hits a couple threes. I think when she scored, what was it, 40 against UCLA earlier in the season, she hit 2 threes.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
So, yeah, she's not a Steph Curry.
Caitlin would have hit 7 in a 40-point game.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So
all right, question one. Question. It's on me, right? I start. I'm the East Coast.
That's right.
All right. This is a deep question.
Let me get my thinking cap on.
There you go. Put it on. Is Jason Tatum his own worst enemy?
Is Jason Tatum his own worst enemy? I wouldn't think so. I mean, he seems pretty successful at everything he's done so far. The kid's like 26 years old. He's got an NBA championship. He's been all NBA a couple times. His biggest enemy is DeAndre Hunter, coming from the Cleveland Cavaliers. They signed this guy, no one even noticed at the trade deadline, but I believe he's had over 200 career one-on-ones against Tatum, and he's 40% successful, which is way above the league average.
Well, that's huge.
So I'm going to say DeAndre Hunter is Jason Tatum's worst enemy, not himself.
Very good.
Maybe his kid is. I bet his kid keeps him up at night too, crying and shit, going Kobe.
For you to go with the player who's got the highest percentage on guarding him, and that happens to be a Cleveland Cavalier, who most likely he's going to face. That's pretty good.
I mean, what were you thinking?
I was thinking that he had no enemies.
Nice. He's a nice guy, little 2-year-old boy that's super cute. Yeah,
right.
Probably not a whole lot.
I think in a way though he's a little bit of his own enemy. I think he does get in his own head. I think
Are you talking like the Olympic stuff and stuff like that? How like
there was the Cavalier game, there was a few things that happened and it was just like,
oh yeah. I mean,
I sometimes I think he gets in his own head and he kind of kills it. I think he should have won maybe 1 or 2 more championships by now, because Celtics have had pretty good teams, and some odd reason they just, so then I see the Cavalier thing and I wonder to myself, is he his own worst enemy? But you came up with this completely opposite answer that sports-wise had somebody who guards them with percentages, and it's excellent.
Fun.
So I'm gonna give you 8 points for that, because that was, I was hoping you'd, 8 saying yes, he's his own worst enemy.
I mean, to be honest, whenever like the shit gets thick, I feel like Jaylen Brown kind of recedes into his shell a little bit more than Tatum does. So if anything, I think Jaylen Brown needs to kind of.
So Jaylen Brown's his own worst enemy.
Right.
Jason Tatum.
Maybe Jason Tatum's Jaylen Brown's worst enemy.
Maybe that's what it is. There's something there with the Celtics, because they've got one championship out of this group. This group's been together for a long time. Not the
Yeah,
addition of, I mean, Porzingis, that's a great addition, but that only happened last year.
right.
But you talk about White, you talk about, I mean, the one dude's been there the whole fucking time. Who's the the one power forward or whatever is not Horford? Is it Horford?
Oh yeah, Horford.
How long has he been there? 20 years? I mean, I
He's
mean,
been in
it's
the
like
NBA for 20 years.
right. He's been in the NBA for 20 years for sure. But I don't know. It's just in the Cavs game, and then they're gonna have to play the Cavs, and that's let's move on. 8 points. Good job.
All right.
All right, number two. How did you feel after the Pistons beat said Celtics? How did you feel? I mean, as a Pistons fan, you ain't beat the Celtics since 2003.
I felt like setting this shit on fire. That's what we do in Detroit, right? We win. We set shit on fire.
So you was just gonna burn your
Yeah,
own
no.
jersey out of
It was kind of like
your own
a
Devil's night.
validation. It was a validation of the first 60 games of the season so far. We look good, we play good. Have we had any huge wins? Not really. We beat I believe we beat you guys
Hornets and well, you
and a
beat a
couple
tier
teams.
2 team. Yay for you. Good job beating a
Right.
tier 2 team.
Right. Well, so yeah, so this was a nice stamp of approval for the Pistons. It made me feel like, all right, maybe making the playoffs is not going to be waste this year.
No.
Um, you know what I mean? So yeah, it felt good. And plus, McPeak's a huge Celtics fan, and I got to talk to him, and he pretended like he didn't see it, but I know he did.
Right,
That
because he
felt
was going to rub
really
it in
good.
your face if he had won.
That's right.
That's right.
So yeah, felt good. Felt good. We're playing excellent. Like I said, Cade Cunningham, MVP top 5, I believe, and the rest of the team's playing well. We're playing defense. JB Bickerstaff is, you know, out coaching everyone. He's winning his challenges. He's got all sorts of above average percentages in coaching. They got coaching stats now. It's insane. But yeah,
Yeah,
Pistons
hell
doing
yeah.
good. It made me feel great. It made me feel like, yeah, 2026 might be our year.
Well, you beat the Celtics, which I would have said you would have never done.
In
So
Boston, right? I believe
in
that was in
Boston.
Boston.
So yeah, that's the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks are only 3 games back from the Celtics, even though
Somehow, yeah. It's weird.
even if they beat us by 35 every time we play them. So even if we pass them, we still have to play them again. You know what I mean? Well, unless
Now,
somebody,
I'd like you to slip down to number 4, maybe, and then 4 or 5 to Pistons, Knicks, first round. I mean, I know I keep going back to it, but I'd love that. That'd be
I know
fun.
you'd love that. I mean, it's just that we're 5, 6 games up on fourth, and I just don't know if we're gonna have. I mean, we could
Hey, we can stay in 6. We'll make it a 6-3. How about that?
a 6-3.
Uh,
Spot, yeah, 6-3 is probably we should just stay there.
Pistons avoid the play-in. We get to play the Knicks first round. That
That
seems
would
like a good scenario for me.
that would work. I think that's probably the best scenario is 3-6. Because I know we're three
Solid.
games back from the Celtics. I just don't think we can pass the Celtics.
So I feel like a 9 out of 10 after beating the Celtics. Even though the Pistons lost to Denver, we played them tough. It was a good week. We're still 9-1 in the last 10. Detroit basketball.
Well, there you go. 9 points for you then. The Detroit 9-1 in the last 10 gets you 9 points, buddy.
Dude, I love using the power of mind manipulation.
All right. Okay, this is kind of a 3-part question. Simple. First part of the question's easy, yes, no answer. Should Spike Lee be banned from the Knicks games? And are the Cavs now the cream of the crop? And can this team be a dynasty?
Let's start with the Cavs.
How about okay? Go ahead.
The Cavs
It's your
definitely
answer.
can win the championship this year. Unfortunately for them, we've got most of their guard talent. Donovan Mitchell, I don't think his knees are going to last that long, and Garland, I believe, is going to get paid to go elsewhere. And like many championship teams, the depth pieces on said championship team become way more expensive. $5 million guys, DiVincenzo, become $30 million guys, DiVincenzo. So you see what happens when you win championships. So Yeah, I think they're ready to roll this year. I think they can take the Celtics. They've got the confidence, they got the swagger. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, staying healthy obviously is the key.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I like their chances. Dynasty, no. Championship, yes. Spike Lee, ban him just for the fun of it. I mean, Christ. I mean, he's a great and everything, but shit, I'd rather have one of those car guys with the flappy arms at the Knicks games because I mean, he's just annoying now. We know what he's gonna say every time. Yes, Spike, we know it's traveling. They don't call it anymore.
They don't call it anymore, Spike. I don't know. I saw Spike and Steph chirping at each other. I was just like,
That's kind of fun though.
it is. But is it time? The
Is
answer
it
is
time?
the answer is no. So you're gonna lose
Whatever's
both.
funnier. I mean, maybe how can we put him like can we give him the Bob Uecker treatment? Put him like in the top shelf.
Well, I thought just give him the
Give
Jack
him his own
Nicholas
box.
treatment.
Give him his own box way up there with a megaphone, like up in
Yeah.
the cheap seats.
Well, give him the
There.
Nicholson treatment. Put him in the middle somewhere, in his little seats behind the net, not down on the fucking floor where he gets to talk to people all the time. Back him
Put
off
him
a little bit.
put him behind the hockey net. He's too old for this shit.
Yeah, right. Put him somewhere where he can see good view of the game, but maybe not, so close to the other people. Um, I like your answer on the Cavs. I do agree that players start to go away for money. So, I would have given you 9, but you lost the 2 on Spike Lee, so 7 points.
All right. All right. That's a good one. Good score for me.
That is a good score for you.
So
That
I can't
piss
do
that that
that.
that Pistons 9-1 in the last 10. That helped you.
I got the Barry Bonds number. His Pirates number, 24. All right. The other part of 3-on-3 in the West. All right. The Lakers have won 6 in a row. The Warriors have not lost since Jimmy Butler has been a part of them. They just beat the Knicks tonight. Which team's success is more sustainable, and or which team will be scarier come playoff time?
Okay.
And you can talk a little bit about what's making their success happen. I mean, is it just Luca? Is it just Jimmy? Is it more than that?
Okay. That's a good question. Um, I think sustainable. And even in the play, I think the addition of Jimmy Butler, I think that was the missing piece. So I think Steph just needed another really good player to be with him. So he's open a little more, or he has somebody to pass to, or somebody he really can trust. So I think Jimmy was the missing. The Lakers, I think they just had a chance to get Luka Doncic. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. We should do that. Let's do that really fast. And I don't know if I don't know if it's about this year's playoffs or this year's run, even though they're in second and they haven't lost. And it's definitely been a good addition to the team, this Luka guy. And
Pretty
I
talented.
yeah, and I think LeBron James is a different player in the playoffs. I mean, completely, you know what I mean? So I think Luka also is a different player. And I think, yeah, so I mean,
Yeah, I'm not here to ask you powder puff questions, my friend. This is a toughie.
but I think if we just talked about this season, I think the Warriors could knock the Lakers out of the playoffs this year.
Be about fucking time.
I do. I think with the addition of, I mean, Jimmy Butler in the playoffs, as we all know, is is
Playoff Jimmy.
is one of the best players in the playoffs. To go along with Steph, who turns it on and just can't turn it off, and Draymond, he's all of these guys have a lot of experience in the playoffs, right?
A lot of good
And
experience. Yeah.
yeah, so I think this year, if you put the Warriors and the Lakers and they met each other in the playoffs, I think the Warriors would come out on top. If you ask me the same question next year, I don't think it's going to be, I don't know if the Warriors are going to make the playoffs next year, but I know the Lakers are going to, you know what I mean? Because they're going to
Right.
just build around Luka. This is the turnaround. This is a new beginning for the Lakers. They just happen to be in second place right now, but LeBron's going to move on, and Bronny's going to get cut. You need somebody better than Reeves. You need a center. You know what I mean? All these pieces should be added to the team here within the next couple of years. So I think the Warriors, I think this is more sustainable and better in the playoffs. I think it's the Warriors
All
this year.
right. I was hoping to get a little bit of information on Kuminga. I was hoping you were going to say Kuminga's coming back, which would increase the ceiling of the Warriors.
Sure.
And I don't appreciate you sucking up to me. So 7 points.
I'm trying to make up for all the points I gave you.
Yeah, I know. There's no chance you're winning today. You might as well give up already. Get ready to say Penguins rule. I love them. That's what we forgot. We forgot to incorporate the penalty into this whole contest.
Yeah, I see that.
I feel like we should bring that back. Just at the end, if I win, just say Penguins are cute and cuddly. They're the best.
All right. Well, everybody loves the Penguins.
Number 2. At the other end of the trade spectrum, winning, losing, we've got the Dallas Mavericks, which just lost Kyrie Irving for the year to an ACL tear. What's going on in Dallas? Is this good luck, bad luck? How's Nico Williams taking this, do you think?
That's bad.
I just want to make fun of the Mavs for a while. Go ahead.
I mean, that's about as worse as, you can't get any worse than that. I mean, you traded away your best player and then your second best player towards ACL. And now
right. And the guy you traded for, he's not playing either.
Oh, well, yeah, that guy they traded for doesn't play much at all anyway. So, I mean, you just forget his name anyways. So it's going to be interesting for him to come back and be the only player on the court that has any value, because I don't know how that works if he's the only player. I guess you just throw the ball to him a lot. He's probably going to score a lot of points. Take him in fantasy basketball when Anthony Davis comes back for sure, because, are the centers back? The Lively
They're about to come back. That's why Dallas is starting to get excited. We're like, we're going to get some guys back.
And then you lose pretty much the heart and soul, and the guy carries the ball up the court. And
yeah, Kyrie was playing well after the trade. He had taken that quite finely.
Yeah, well, he's more than capable of being the number one on the team. He doesn't need Luka or he doesn't need LeBron. He doesn't mean.
So, Kyrie, how much you trust him? Do you just rebuild now? Do you trade everyone you have and just restart all over?
Well, when you
trade Anthony Davis too, fuck it.
Oh, I would, because if he's injury prone, he spends.
Trade injured Kyrie and injured Anthony Davis. See what you can get. Start over.
Start over. I don't think you'll get much for Anthony Davis, but I think you could. How old's Kyrie now? 34.
Pretty old.
Yeah, he's pretty old now, right?
Yeah, he won't respond to surgery quite as well.
No, he won't. He's Lillard. He's kind of like a Lillard. So what do? It's kind of the same deal, right?
Yeah, no doubt. What should they do with the owner? Should they? I think he'll be the first guy to live on the moon, whether it's his choice or not.
Nice. Well, I'm sure the one owner's completely happy he got the hell out of there. What's the dude? The one dude made the T-shirts, made all the money.
Mark Cuban.
Yeah, I'm sure Mark is totally excited to not be a part of that deal anymore. So I got out of there.
Is he part of the Mavs or no? I was gonna say, if he was he'd be in a room right now figuring it out, because Mark Cuban figures shit out. Might not be the right way, but he'll figure it out.
I believe Mark Cuban is completely non-existent in the Dallas Maverick world, except for showing up to games and supporting. I don't think he has any involvement anymore. So good for Mark.
Good. All right. I'd still launch that guy Nico into space.
Okay.
All right, so you got 7 points, so a chance for the win if you get this next question. Perfect. Quietly, the Joker and the Nuggets are killing it in the West. No trades, no nothing. All that happened basically was Jamal Murray came back and started shooting like 45% from three. Do they have enough depth, enough stuff up front to maybe push OKC?
Well, I
Question
had
mark.
them.
Sorry, no, I didn't. I didn't go OKC, but that was a question. End of the question.
I had I believe at the beginning of the year, I still had them number 1 or number 2. So, I mean, obviously, we know that and you mentioned at the beginning of the year that they lost some depth, but
Yeah, all the pieces that are on Cleveland right now, they were in Denver. Yeah,
but when we talk about playoffs and you know, Joker's not going to leave the court, Murray's not going to leave the court, Porter's not going to leave the, you know what I mean? They're just going to play 47. It's time to play. So,
correct.
okay. Do I think that if they just played 47 minutes a game and the other team was forced to play, I think that, yeah, I think
Specifically against OKC, can
yes,
their largeness work against the number one team in the West right now?
yes. If they can stop, SGA. Can Porter guard SGA? I mean, I who guards that guy? I mean,
He's still not a lot of rim protection. I know Jokic is good defender, but he's not jumping. You know
no,
what I mean? And
no, he's not
SGA is
jumping.
the rim, so worries me a little bit if I'm a Denver fan.
Well, Denver would just be happy to be in the Western Conference Championship against OKC, starting off the way they did and battling through what they have. So, yeah, and they've already cut the Nets down, and Joker's already been the MVP several times, and so I think Denver fans. I mean, OKC just needs it more than the Denver fans, but yes, I believe Denver. I believe Denver at any given time can beat any of the teams in the NBA.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm going to give you 8 points because I needed you to say the words Isaiah Hartenstein.
You know what? I have
That's the
taken an
reason that
oath,
they're not
and
scared of the big guys.
I have taken an oath and sworn not to say his name in this house ever again.
All right. Well, I mean, I feel like I'm like penalizing you for not eating a cow if being Indian or something like that. But at the
I
same
had
time,
bacon
I
tonight.
win. The Goob wins NBA 3-on-3. You must
Nice.
say Penguins rule.
Congratulations to the Goop for winning 3-on-3.
Say it. Say the Penguins rule.
Penguins. Penguins are the most fluffiest characters in the whole world, and I love
Say
penguins.
they soar and they're majestic.
Penguins soar, and they are majestic.
Thanks, Cal. Let's go to the next topic, which is less sorry and less majestic, but kind of fast and furious.
Did you say Fast and Furious?
Did.
Dude, this is the best road course race I have watched in a long time. All hail the Texas road course race. I mean, listen, this is, there's a lot of you road course races, for years, road course races were, the Indy League or Formula One, and they drove through the town of Monte Carlo, or they drove through Chicago, or they drove through, and you honestly never saw any of those races because I mean, you didn't, it's through a whole town. And when you go to like a road course race in like NASCAR, it's like in a stadium. This is one of the best races as it went for driving and being close and competitive. Sometimes when you watch a road course race, it's the one fucking guy and he's winning by 3.5 seconds. And every time he gets the lead, he just pulls away and you just watch one guy by himself driving around on a road course. And the rest of the people wrecking, trying to keep, buddy, come back to me, buddy. It's okay. So this race had not a lot of wrecks. It had a lot of people banging and bumping, but not wrecking. It had a lot of I mean,
So
you
was it
had to
in a
have
town in Texas or was it just out in the middle of nowhere? Like what
no,
did they do with this one?
it's just a road course inside the speedway.
Oh, they just put it inside a big football
Yeah.
arena and they just,
It was inside the Texas Motor Speedway, so they just built
so
a road
everyone got a
course.
good view of it and they still got to do the road coursiness.
Yeah. It's like going to
Okay.
any other road course. It's just you get to watch the whole fucking thing.
Ah, interesting.
Well, not the whole fucking thing. You miss pieces. There's no way you can see the whole fucking thing. That'd be impossible. You can't see any. You have to go to the only race you go to Bristol. You can watch the whole race. You go into a bowl. It's a quarter mile long. You watch the whole race. But you go to Daytona. You have to do this. I went to Talladega. I always saw the cars when they went by me. You know what I mean? And after that, they zipped by me, and then they went to the other side of the racetrack, and I was like, "Yeah, there they are. Oh yeah, somebody wrecked. Oh fuck." Watch the TV. So, man, the end of this race, Kyle Busch had the lead. A small part of me wanted Kyle to break his 59 winless race streak because he is a Busch, and and I really, really thought a tiny small part. I thought it'd be cool to win it. Reddick was in fourth at that time. And by the time Kyle got past, now everybody got to like get closer together because Kyle kind of blocked people for a while. Christopher Bell was the bell of the ball. And if he would have got ahead of Kyle Busch a little faster than Kyle would let him, I don't know if it would have been such a close finish. But the last 5 or 6 laps of that race were 3 people racing for the win. And it's been a long time since a road course race where I saw 3 people where people were making like decisions and trying to block each other. And excellent race. Best road course I've seen in NASCAR in a long time, to where it was like, wow, shit, this might be a bump and run, and the third place guy might win this race. Usually it's not anything like that. So, excellent race. If you didn't watch it, you missed out. If you did watch it, you are on the same page as me going, wow, that end of the race with 3 guys racing each other around the racetrack was crazy. So, yeah, all hail NASCAR this weekend. They did a great job.
All right. So what do you think about next week? They're going to, I believe, Phoenix, Joey Logano's
Yeah,
playground.
Phoenix is. I think Joe Logano and I think Toyota truly dominates it. So good for Wallace and good for
Christopher
Reddick
Bell.
and good for Christopher.
Fucking Christopher Bell. We're going to be saying that name a lot this year,
By the
aren't
way,
we?
congratulations to Christopher Bell for winning last week's Texas race, beating William Byron and Tyler Reddick. Have to be the 3 superstars of NASCAR right now in William Byron, Kyle Larson, of course, too. You're going to have 5 guys. Kyle Larson's definitely in there. Kyle Larson might be ahead of Reddick, actually. But I'm just saying, 3 of the best race car drivers went against it. But now we're coming to Phoenix. I think Christopher Bell, I think he's won this race. I think he won it last year, actually.
He has. Byron won it 2 years ago, and Logano won it basically every other year.
I think Logano, I think, pretty much has his name written on the track somewhere, I believe.
Probably.
I believe it's an 8-time. Did you
Probably.
say 8 times for Logano at this racetrack? That's a lot for one guy to win one fucking track. You know what I mean? That's
It
like
is. It's him, Mark
Gordon
Martin,
won.
and
I think Gordon won like Darlington 5 times. That was quite a bit. There's been some older guys. Jimmy Johnson won that North Carolina or Charlotte race like fucking 11 times or some shit like that. So, some guys they had their race and they just won it.
well,
But
didn't Jimmy Johnson just win every race for like 5 years straight? Because he won Phoenix 5 times.
yeah, Jimmy Johnson for a little bit there pretty much dominated all of NASCAR. Him and Chad Knaus pretty much just dominated the whole sport. They actually,
Is Canals an
they
owner?
actually, I want to take that back because I always say, and it always pisses me off, that if the point system hadn't changed, Jeff Gordon would have won 8 championships, and instead Jimmy Johnson won 6. So it's kind of like frustrating because they kind of changed the points, and Jimmy Johnson was the one who like really, 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 really benefited from the point change thing and all the go to this and 10 races and the last 10 races count and blah blah. You
That's
know,
fine. If they'd have made the Super Bowl happen 20 years earlier, like Packers have won
Packers
a
would
lot.
have 10. I know, mother. So no, we'd have 15. Take that
So
back.
you, so you want to talk about football? So there's some interesting things going
I would
on.
love to spend the rest of this show just talking about football, actually. A lot happened this week. From a very slow combine, not very fast.
Not very fast. That
Not
6'3"
very
safety from
fast.
South Carolina was good. I got to give you that.
Yes. But other than that, I'd like to shout out both my Ohio State running backs. Henderson for being in the top 6 in the 40. And I believe Judkins was in the top 10. I still say it today. If you can get Judkins in the 4th round, you have got the Isaiah Pacheco of this draft. I think you got somebody for 5 years who is going to run through that line like his head has been cut off and he is mad. So I really do think if the Packers can pick, that's my steal of the draft is that running back out of Ohio State. I
There's a
really
lot of
love.
depth at running back this year. There's going to be. I think
There is. There was. Yeah.
that's why Katron and Singleton from Penn State decided to stay here. I think because they'll be clear number one, first, second round next year. This year, there's going to be good running back drafted up until the 5th, 6th round.
You had 10 guys that were in 4.4 range running.
Yeah, right. They're running faster than the DBs and the
Yeah. The
the wide
receivers
receivers.
almost. All the
Yeah,
receivers were 4.4. I did notice this year, though, and I thought that there was a lot of really tall receivers this year, a lot of big frame receivers this year. So a lot of your 6'3 guys, but all in the
sure.
4.47, all 4.45.
Your possible DK Metcalfs,
You're a lot of your DKs.
except he
Probably that
ran like a
guy's
he ran a 4.39 or something.
that dude's an animal. That dude caught Buda Baker from 20 yards back. I mean,
Yeah, that was sick.
so let's
Greatest catch up by a
not
receiver
forget who
ever.
we're talking about when we say Packers have had a mention in a trade with the Seahawks to get DK Metcalf this week. I thought that was an interesting talk. I don't know why, because one of the things was trading a receiver. So now I'm like, so now we got to pay somebody $180 million and give up a receiver. That doesn't make any
Right.
fucking sense.
And you've got 5 good receivers, so
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about the Packers getting a receiver right now, and I'm kind of like, I don't really understand. Thought we like would have.
they must be unimpressed with their development or
They
injury.
must be, or is it just fans, or is it sports guys, or because I'm just like, here's how I look at it.
A lot of YouTube.
It's got to be because listen, if the ball goes to 8 different guys at least 2 to 3 times or 4 times, bringing a number one ride, like bring Stefan Diggs on the team and say, hey, Stefan, you might see the ball twice because we throw it to everybody and the running back gets the ball out. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know if it's the best idea to bring in a fucking Antonio Bryan or to bring in somebody who's a number one main guy and then realize that Jordan Love is going to throw the ball to 60 guys. He might be like, well, when am I getting the ball? I don't know. When you get open on that one cross route, because that's mostly when I throw that pass or whatever. I don't, you know what I mean? But I just don't know if I think I think people underestimate the fact that we throw the ball to so many different people. I know guys did have their games like where Romeo Dobbs dominated a game. That's most likely because the defense couldn't guard that position well. I believe that's when dominating games happened for Packers because I believe we handed the ball off like 27 times a game. So I don't know really when a receiver. So I keep hearing this. I hope it doesn't happen unless we're trading away a receiver, I guess.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to me if you want a receiver, I mean, what's cheaper than a 5th rounder for a proven Debo? I mean, we were giving them away basically. I mean, if
And
you
we
wanted
didn't
a
want
receiver,
that.
so I mean, I don't know why you would actually pay a Devontae Adams or a Stephon Diggs to come along and ruin some of these other wide receivers' career.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want any of that. Let's just try again in our 3rd year all together, and we'll see how that goes. And if that doesn't work well, then now people are starting to get older. So now I'm starting to go, well, maybe this young team didn't gel the way it should have, or maybe these kids weren't as talented. So I don't want to hear about Devontae Adams to the Packers. That's for sure. I'm like, what are we going to pay him? $13 million to come in there and demand the ball?
Don't want to hear that in the Niners locker room either.
No, hell no. You don't want to hear that. You're like,
Ricky
all right,
Pierce
old
all
man.
time, baby.
Yeah, let's just get. I mean, if you want to draft another receiver, draft. I don't even think the Packers should draft another receiver. We need to focus on other things. I'd rather listen. We got an old Josh Jacobs. We got that kid from with the whatever his name last year from USC or UCLA. I would rather just I'd rather take yeah, right? I'd rather take a swing at another back to back Josh Jacobs up than even think about a receiver.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Jacob's not going to make it through the entire next year. That's probably a fact.
Not bell cowing 400 fucking carries a year. No.
So you
So
guys got any interest in free agents? Do you want, because Niners have some. We've got Shavarius Ward, Dre Greenlaw, Jalen Moore, Shavarius Ward. Did I say that already? Oh, Hufanga. We got all sorts of free agents that we're probably not going to be able to sign.
Charvarius Ward could definitely be a Packer this year. And I say that because they don't want Alexander back, Jair. And they're talking about trading him. And if they don't get a trade, they're probably going to cut him.
A la
And
Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup in LA is facing the same situation.
yeah, he's facing the same situation. I think a lot of people. That's why Adams being cut right away or let go. That made sense.
Darius Slay cut.
Cut right away. So we're good. We're going. They've got youth there. They just won a Super Bowl. Get rid of Darius. And then they give Barkley all that money. Woo-hoo.
Saquon got the bag. Hey, good for running backs everywhere. Good for Saquon. Good for Penn State. You know, Penn State's going to get some of that money.
Good for good for Saquon Barkley bringing the value of the running back to the NFL. I say that for not only Saquon Barkley but Josh Jacobs and King Henry because
Chase Brown.
because
Just wanted to say Chase Brown.
I see that. Because all three of those guys did very well, got paid a little bit more than they had before. Now, I hope Josh Jacobs didn't see that thing with Saquon this morning and like dial the Packers number and went, hey, man, did you see how they? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, I'll see you at training camp. All right, bye. I mean, just like, man, motherfucker did a backwards jump over somebody and won a Super Bowl. Oh, hearing you bullshit.
Right, you've been traded to the Raiders. Sorry, Scott Jacobs.
Back on the Raiders. Devontae, what are you doing here? I'm back. God damn it.
Aaron Rodgers, what are you doing here? I don't know. Vegas,
I don't know, but let's go win one. After we do Alawaska and wash our balls in baby oil. What?
Nice.
What did Aaron Rodgers just say? Too many fucking Diddy parties.
The Raiders are on acid this year. What's up?
What's up? Listen, I like to avoid the Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, any talk. Although, I mean, do you pay Brock Purdy or do you bring in Aaron Rodgers for 2 years and draft another quarterback?
I mean, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, there's a bunch of shitty quarterbacks that apparently are good enough to land jobs in the NFL. So I'm curious where, Cousins lands and some of these other insane people.
I'm going to put Cousins, if he gets just let go, I'm going to go. I think Kirk Cousins is a Raider next year.
Right. I don't know. Cousins, Rodgers. I mean, Darnold's the only one that played well. And is everyone just waiting to see where Darnold goes? Because Minnesota did not franchise him.
I know because I think they're going to redo his contract and keep him.
That's smart.
I think Minnesota knows what they're doing already.
But then Daniel Jones maybe become trade bait.
I think Daniel Jones does move on, and I think Daniel Jones is probably going to head to I don't know, maybe Indianapolis who needs a quarterback, or maybe Tennessee who needs a quarterback, or maybe you could build I think with a better offensive line and you've seen Daniel Jones have moments of greatness. All Darnold needed. They were small, but he had moments of greatness. Now, you gave this, if you just said this guy was a running option quarterback and I don't know, and he could throw the ball, I don't know. I bet you he goes, so I bet you he starts next year somewhere.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if
it's a lot of bad quarterbacks out there.
Cam Ward and all these rookie quarterbacks are as terrible as everyone's saying, then we're just going to have 10 teams with terrible quarterbacks again next year. So, yeah, Niners signed Brock Purdy. Do it. Who cares?
Why not?
Yeah.
You'll still make the playoffs.
You can tell we're doing it. We're already cutting salary left and right. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't sign Greenlaw and a lot of these free agents. Hufanga's definitely not getting signed, which is a bummer. He had 1 good year and 4 injury years. Like to see him healthy; it'd be fun.
Is
But
that the safety?
yeah,
He's not coming
it's
back, huh?
the little Palomalu. I don't know, man. Depends on what he wants. Depends on what his market is. I mean, we'll pay him a little bit, but we just drafted the Penn State safety, Jair Brown.
Right.
We should be all right at safety, actually.
I don't know. I liked him. He had that Palomalu kind of feel, you know. You need that in a safety.
Out of any of the free agents, if the Niners, Ronnie Staley, I'll pay him some money. I'll pay him money. We need an offensive line. That's it.
For the Packers, any of the free agents? No. I mean, Hassan Reddick is a free agent, right? Isn't that defensive end for the maybe
Yeah, the Eagles.
Reddick? Khalil Mack is a free agent, but I don't know if Khalil Mack is done. He might be done.
Well, I mean, I think he had a good year last year.
Mm-hmm.
If you need a little bit of pass rush and you think just need a little bit of pass rush to get over the top, maybe you'd pay Khalil Mack. There's probably younger and better pass rushers out there, except once they get to the NFL, they seem to disappear. It's weird.
Yeah, it's tough. Well, I hear it's a tough league.
Tough league, the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough league. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me in the free agency market, I don't see anybody. I think
There's
it's
a lot. There's 100 free agent. I read a list of top 100. The Packers had one free agent, center Josh Myers. So
yeah,
apparently, you either have no talent on your team or no free agents. So
we
that's
have no
good.
free agents. We have one, and they say right now that somebody might pay Josh Myers more money than the Packers.
Oh yeah, no, he's on a list of overpaying centers
Yeah,
because I mean, everyone needs a good center, and
yeah,
he's been extra serviceable. We'll call him.
yeah. So we might not pay him as much as he's gonna make. So Elton Jenkins is going to move over to center. They're already working on the roster move already. They're already.
Isn't he a black guy?
Yeah.
We gotta have a black center. Shit, that doesn't work since Webster in Pittsburgh. Good luck, man.
They say he's a really good center, actually. That's just Myers came out of cut. Yeah. And he was playing so good at guard, and Myers came out, and we drafted him as a center.
I'm
So
throwing away my black center hypocrisy right now.
Zach Tom is also a good center, and he is also of black skin. So I mean, yeah, so either or, we're going either or. So it's going to be when Myers leaves, you pick one of the two, and that's going to be our
I don't know if
center.
that's gonna fly in Green Bay, homie. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. I know they're pretty tough there. You know, they need bag of donuts or something like that. Frank
Hey,
Winters.
Benny bag of donuts.
Bag of donuts. Give me Frank Winters back. No, I think it's Elton Jenkins or Zach Toms. I think that's who you're going to get as the center. Which is why you could possibly see the Packers take another lineman in the first round, just because that Josh Myers things might screw us a little bit. And we might have to go cornerback in the second round or Travarius Ward in free agency. I think if we lose Myers, I think you'll see the Packers take another left tackle. And then they'll move that Morgan guy to either guard or he can fight for left tackle, and that other guy can go to guard. One of the two, whoever we take in the first round. Josh Myers might screw us a little bit on who we draft, because once he goes, then we have to start moving pieces, like drastically move pieces, like who's going to become the center, because that part's kind of important.
Fair enough.
Or we draft a center in the first round again.
Probably not. There's
Probably
one
not.
center.
There's not one out there.
No, not one out there.
No.
You could trade down, get one at like 31.
Well, I hope we don't. I hope we don't trade down to get a center at 31, because that'll disappoint
the
the
NFL offseason is just getting started, though. I'm very excited about it.
I'm very excited too. For the fact that we got to talk about it this much tonight made me very happy.
Excellent. More to come.
And T. Higgins got franchise tagged again.
What do you think? End of the second round for T. Higgins? Fantasy draft?
Yeah. He looked really good this year.
He was really good when he played.
Yep. He looked really good. Performer of the week.
My performer of the week is Stephen Wardell Curry, who put up 56 points. What was that? Friday night against Orlando? Oh man, check this stat out. Out of players that hit 9 3-pointers in a game, Clay and Lillard have done it like 12 and 14 times respectively. Stephen Curry has done it 45 times.
Wow.
And
45 times.
it was just an excellent showing. Steph was awesome. 56 points. It was beautiful. Obviously, he drilled a deep three to get to 50, and the half court halftime shot at the buzzer was just icing on the cake before we even knew there was icing. Stephen Wardell Curry, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't have a prop at all.
Sure you do. Grab your beer.
My performer of the week is Angry Orchard for getting me through this weekend. I'd like to thank you guys so much. It hasn't been an easy one. So, performer of the week, Angry Orchard.
This angry's for you.
This angry's for you. What are you excited for next week?
Well, I'm very excited because in just a few hours here, Champions League Wednesday happens. I got a buddy coming over from England. We're going to drink like English beer at like 8 a.m. in the morning, get crazy, get kicked
Who's
out of
that?
my apartment. Also, Carolina Duke on Saturday. Very fun.
Who's the Englishman?
Oh, his name is Welshman. His last
I was
name's
hoping
Thomas.
it was the old. I was hoping it was the old Englishman from back in the day.
Ah, yes. No, I haven't seen him in a while. Still in Oakland, I believe, though.
Nice. Okay, cool. I would have said tell you say hi.
I'll text him. I'll say hi anyway.
There you go. Do that anyways. Tell him I said hi too.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Mike, I'm excited for Phoenix. I think that's about it.
Nice. Hey, listen, the Knicks get a chance for revenge against the Warriors in 2 weeks at Golden State. Maybe you could find tickets in your mail pouch and just confiscate them or something.
I will try to confiscate tickets from my mail pouch. I will
Legally.
not try to do that because that's an automatic
Legally.
loss.
Well, maybe you could bribe whoever gets the tickets.
You know,
Be like,
maybe
listen,
I can. Yeah,
listen,
maybe
you
I'll.
don't want to go. The Knicks are terrible. Blah blah blah. I'll take them off your hands. Something like that.
All right. So here's what we need to do. We need to find out Steph Curry's address. I'll find out what post office it is and what route that's on.
Ooh.
And I'll see if I can't get the tickets from that guy.
This is some real Oceans 2 type stuff.
This Ocean's 2 kind of shit right here. It's like, so
Nice.
I'll see if I can't.
We've already, you're the black guy.
Tickets.
We got the inside man already.
Yeah, the mailman gets tickets all the time. You know he does. So you got to make sure they get their packages on time and everything's nice and tidy. And that's your mailman. Don't forget that, everybody. It's your fucking mailman. Well, you know what? I'm FB.
You know what? I had a good time on the goop.
Peace.
Hope you did too.